The newest enemy to the Gears of War franchise, the Swarm. Hello the creatures of the universe, I'm Riellerthecreeper, and today I'm going to talk to you all about one of the biggest questions and biggest topics about Gears of War 4. The new enemy that we will be facing off in the new game, the Swarm. What are they? And where did they come from? And how can they exist? If you all remember, back to the good old days, at the end of Gears of War 3, Adam Phoenix's machine was set off, destroying all of the Lambent and Locust. And ever since then, they were extinct. And the Lambent's gone, Emulsion is gone, and the Locust are all gone. And from what we've learned from Game Informer, is that after that machine was set off, there were too many Locust bodies to be disposed of properly, so they were just thrown into mass graves. And it is said that the Swarm originated from one of these mass grave sites. Now this is where I am puzzled. And keep in mind, I am completely spitballing right now. I have no solid piece of information, in fact no one does, about the Swarm. I'm just giving what I think could be a possible outcome of why they exist. If you take a look here at the Swarm drone, you can obviously see some Locust in it. Its skin, its clothing, most of all its weapon, because its weapon is pretty much the descendant of the Hammerburst, and that is the new Hammerburst. Up next, we have the Juvie. Now these things remind me of wretches, and I'm pretty sure that's what role they're filling in Gears of War 4. They travel in packs, they're really deadly when in numbers, and they're kind of scary. And the new enemy that we saw at the E3 demo is called the Pouncer. It can shoot spikes out of its tail, it has multiple tongues in its mouth. It just looks badass. I mean, come on, look at that. That shit, if that thing came at me, I'd shit my pants. I wouldn't shoot it. I'd probably just run. I'd try to shoot it if I could. My point is that these Swarm look very similar to the Locust. Now here's what I'm thinking. Could it be plausible that maybe a chemical or so was dropped on one of these Locust mass grave sites unintentionally, creating life? That's pretty much the only thing that I've been able to think of, because I really don't know how you create an entire species out of a mass grave. Obviously the Coalition is going to reveal to us how the Swarm exists in the actual game, and maybe before, maybe, that's a long shot, but just maybe. But can you imagine that? Somebody drops a chemical, or dumps some chemicals unintentionally on a Locust gravesite? That could be a plausible situation. I was looking for the right word. Another thing that I want to mention while talking about the Swarm is they look different, yet similar to the Locust. I mentioned this a few seconds ago. But, this is what strikes my mind the minute I see all of these new enemies. We can obviously tell that there are similarities to their Locust cousins, but they are very, very different. What do we know about them so far? We know that they are intelligent. We know that they can talk. We know that they can use weapons. We know that they can modify weapons, most likely, and they are able to work together. All of these shadow the Locust. Obviously, they're just like us. They're intelligent. They are sentient life forms, and that is really cool. They're just like the Locust. But again, circling back to the topic at hand, how can they exist? As I was gonna say, I got off topic for a second, is that as soon as I see them, they strike me as different. They're obviously different, but whenever I see them, I came up with the word mutation. I didn't create the word, if that's what you're thinking. No. I'd be rich, or something like that. I don't know. But whenever I see them, I think of mutation, because each swarm looks different than the other. Whether it be skin, whether it be class, whether it be both, whether it be color, everything is different about them. Back to what I was saying, the swarm looks different than the locusts themselves. And they look almost as if they were mutated by something, which is why I came up with the chemical situation I mentioned. But the true definition of mutation is, in biology, a mutation is a permanent alteration of the nucleotide sequence of the genome of an organism, virus, or extrachromosomal DNA, or other genetic elements. Mutations result from damage to DNA which is not repaired, errors in the process of replication, or from the insertion or deletion of segments of DNA by mobile genetic elements. Now this next part is what really intrigues me. Mutations may or may not produce changes in the observable characteristics of an organism. That led me to believe that this chemical idea, where someone or some company or the cog even dumps chemicals on one of these grave sites unintentionally without their knowledge, and it can create mutation. Now, whether or not that can bring something back to life or create life from it, I have absolutely no idea. But that is what is really cool, because if you can take a look at all the other kinds of swarm, some of them have spikes on their heads. One of them has a spike sticking straight out of their head on their face that looks like it's pure bone or something. Some have darker, redder skin than the others. Some of them have spikes on their arms while others don't. Others are more equipped than others. It's a whole army. And I'm pretty sure that they are one big army. Just like their locust brethren. Well, I just keep saying cousins, brethren. You get the point. They're related. This is a very interesting topic, and personally, I have no idea how the swarm came into existence. I just mentioned an idea that I believe could be one of the many possibilities of the swarm's origins. If you guys have any theories of how the swarm came into existence in the new Gears of War, be sure to leave a comment down below, and I will be sure to read it. I read every comment, and I appreciate every view, every like, every subscribe, and it means so much to me. Thank you all so much. I'm approaching 600 subscribers, and I can't believe so much has happened in such little time, and I thank you all so much. But enough about me. Remember, leave a comment down below telling me what you think of the swarm, how they came into existence, and I will see you all in the next video.